543 days of looksmaxing. Yes, you've heard me right. I spent nearly 2 years on this journey. From average looking to decent improvements, but not without a dark turn. Today in this video, I'm going to expose everything I've seen and learned. But before I dive into those, let me tell you how I ended up here. I was that shy guy who never had a girlfriend. The one who watched other men, often incredibly handsome, get all the attention I deeply craved. It seemed like they just walked into a room, and everything came to them effortlessly. Meanwhile, I stood in the shadows, feeling like I was just there, invisible, as if no one noticed me. I knew I had to do something to break from this feeling, so I joined the gym. At first, it was about getting in shape, but it became so much more. 2 years into my gym progress, I was starting to see some real results. That's when I noticed that girls were starting to pay a bit more attention to me, which was a huge change for me. But even with all that progress and getting more jacked, I still felt like I was missing something. There was this nagging sense that I wasn't quite there yet. I wasn't that Chad with the perfect look, the kind of guy who could walk into a room and instantly catch everyone's eye, without needing to lift a finger. Something was missing. I knew I needed more than muscles to get noticed, but I wasn't sure what. Searching for answers, I stumbled upon a community. This is where my journey into looksmaxing began. A deep dive into the world of aesthetics and self-improvement, where every detail of your appearance matters. Looksmaxing was interesting at first. Seemingly all I had to do was follow certain practices like mewing, skincare, chewing, and other facial routines, and I'd eventually get results. The instructions were straightforward, and I started noticing subtle changes, and my confidence grew. However, this story had a dark turn. The deeper I went, the darker it got. As I delved further into the world of looksmaxing, I came upon extreme practices like bone smashing, aka hitting your jawline, or bones with hammer, making small fractures, and waiting to bones grow and become bigger. What started as a journey to improve my appearance turned into an obsession with achieving a flawless look, no matter the cost. Toxic online communities fueled these ideas, where insecurities ran so deep they ended up ruining each other's lives. It's easy to fall into these traps, and if you're not careful, you can end up like James Sapphire, an unfortunate case of a pretty-looking boy who went deep into the rabbit hole of online forums, looksmaxing, and the black pill. James Sapphire's journey started with a desire to improve his looks and feel more confident. But his insecurities and lack of rational thinking drove him to extremes. The constant comparison, obsession with perfection, and negativity took their toll, leading to a rapid decline in his self-esteem, looks, and life. This almost happened to me, but luckily I successfully managed to get out of this rabbit hole, while at the same time properly improving my looks and mindset. Here's what 543 days of looksmaxing taught me. First, I will mention all the methods I did, from mewing, hard mewing, ice, all sorts of skin routines, minoxidil for eyebrows, to bone smashing, thumb pulling, and all sorts of things you could consider every strange. Do they work? Yes, they do. But before you dive deep into looksmaxing, consider the mental aspect of improvement. 1. Looks matter a lot, but they aren't everything, actually. No matter what anyone says, looks matter, and they always will as long as humans are on planet Earth. However, looks aren't the only thing that matters in a man, because a man's value goes far beyond his appearance. The greatest men that ever lived, most of them are not that attractive, and then you understand that man's achievements are far-reaching than his appearance. You can compensate for a lack of good looks by getting brutally competent in other areas of life, from business, personality, sports, and status. You can develop skills, build your body, or climb the ladder of success. Sure, improving your appearance should be on your mind, but it shouldn't define you. The real value comes from what you actually bring to the table, your skills, your character, and your abilities. 2. Halo effect is real. The reason why looks particularly matter is because we tend to associate certain personality traits with people based on their appearance. This is known as the halo effect, a psychological phenomenon where attractive individuals are perceived to possess other positive traits like kindness, intelligence, and success, whereas unattractive often have negative traits projected onto them. Studies have indeed shown that attractive people often fare better in professional environments, sometimes earning more than their less attractive counterparts. The halo effect can lead to more success in hiring, promotions, and even social relationships. In a nutshell, some primal evolutionary drivers continue to make our perceptions and choices. Beautiful people are more likely to win, no matter the era. But 3. Relying only on looks is for girls. This lesson was particularly challenging for me. While being handsome offers advantages in the dating game, it's also a double-edged sword. Good-looking men are often scared to approach women because they fear shattering the fantasy that every girl who even glances in their direction is interested. Relying solely on your looks to seduce women can backfire. It's a trait typically associated with femininity, and when rejection happens, it can shatter your self-image. The confidence you built up through your looks suddenly feels fragile, and you start questioning your appeal. The truth is, sometimes women will find you ugly, no matter how good-looking you think you are. There will be times when you need more than just a handsome face. Learning this truth can be a tough pill to swallow, but it's also liberating. It means that your worth isn't only tied to your appearance, and there's always room for growth and improvement in other areas. Such is life. 4. Health is beauty. When you suffer on the inside, it shows on the outside. It's ironic because the black pill culture, which often promotes pessimism, is filled with young men who struggle with poor mental health. They spend so much time fixating on external appearances, but the toll that negative thinking takes on their internal well-being becomes visible. Poor stress management leads to a decline in looks over time. When you're constantly stressed or depressed, it affects your skin, your posture, even your energy levels. Internal health has an incredible impact on external beauty. Dark circles under the eyes, a dull complexion, or a lack of energy can all be signs of inner turmoil. That's why the idea that health is beauty is so important. It's a reminder that true beauty comes from taking care of yourself, both physically and mentally. Eating well, exercising, and sleeping enough are part of it. But so is managing stress and finding joy in life. Ultimately, what's the point of a symmetrical and chiseled face when you feel like shit? 5. Comparison is thief of joy. Every time you feel insecure about your looks, you tend to compare yourself with better-looking people, models, or celebrities, without understanding the full picture or events that lead to that conclusion. If you want to have a healthy mind, you should compare yourself only to your previous version. That way, you are competing against yourself, not with the whole world. 6. Obsession leads to results. Double-edged sword. One great thing that Looksmaxing has taught me is that to progress at something, you need to be obsessed. Your ability to make it proportional to the risk you are willing to make. It's not enough to just dabble. You've got to dive in headfirst, fully commit, and be willing to embrace the journey, no matter how rough it gets. It's about marrying the game and riding the highs and lows with the same intensity. When I started my Looksmaxing journey, I knew it wasn't going to be easy. There were going to be setbacks, frustrations, and moments of doubt. But I realized that if I truly wanted to see change, I had to become obsessed with the process. That meant focusing on every detail, following through with routines, and never giving up, even when progress seems slow. This is also a double-edged sword, since obsession with looks can damage your mental health. Conclusion. Black pill community is toxic. Working on yourself is crucial, but diving into extremes can be harmful. Be cautious with looksmaxing, and remember that external improvements should go hand in hand with internal development. Cultivate healthy habits, take care of your well-being, and recognize that your worth isn't solely based on your appearance. Most importantly, stay far away from those who carry a defeatist and pessimistic outlook on life. They'll only pull you down with them.